let me hit record and get this party started here. So Duncan says, this has been an angry start to the year. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love your passion, dude. I love your passion. Okay, so this is strategy session number 1.
Yeah, man. Lay of the land.
Yeah, of 2 for March. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to create a little bit of a whiteboard in Google Drive. And we are going to sort of just map some stuff out. I'm assuming that you may have some questions for me that we can dive in and just get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, not really, to be honest. I think the good thing for me at the first stage is really just to be open and honest with you around, what's the landscape looking like? What are we trying to achieve? Definitely where our shortfalls are. I know we mentioned a little bit around that on our introduction call, but just sort of diving a little bit more in depth so that you can, I think we're quite lucky because we're on the same page of what that output is.
Yep.
So, we're going to be able to cross a lot of bridges pretty quickly. But in saying that, everyone's unique and there's always little different twists and challenges in our stories, right? So, question-wise, not really, man. I'm just pretty excited to get flowing, and it's more just being held accountable. Like I sort of said, we're really at a little bit lost because there's only the 2 of us at the moment. A lot of our team is all freelance and external. Mm-hmm. We just get trapped in our own head around decision making and some of the sort of vital things to make. And I think that's where it's going to be so great just to have that sounding board so that we can drop things past you and just work faster, because I think that's been holding us back a little bit of just like, what do we think? We'll pick that back up again next week, and we just need to be decisive and start punching and moving. And but hey, we're still only quite young in our journey, so it's not the end of the world.
Got it. So where are you so you say that it was a bit of an angry start of the year. What does that mean to me?
Just time. Yeah, time. Like I think, life balance at the moment is not really balanced. It's this is a life brand. It also helps that, husband and wife team, in it, that work-life balance doesn't really exist. It's just life, and it's just trying to balance out emotions and states. I think really we've just been 7 days a week full floored for a while, and that's good. It's good problems to have, but even if I say it's good stress is stress at any point, and you're never going to, this is the mindset coaches and stuff, you never eliminate stress, right? So it's all around accepting it while it's there, and then when balancing that out by trying to bring as much love and emotion to balance that mindset, because at the moment it's been a tough grind. But hey, we're getting through stuff. We're shitload of work going through, and happy days from that side.
That's good. So separating work life and having some sense of peace at some point of the day, mm-hmm. right? And sort of just separating. I've gone through this. I have a therapist, and I've talked to her about this several times, about how your market value should have no bearing on your personal value, and understanding that and owning that. I could share with you personally that I could not separate the two. At some point of my life back in the day, I mixed the two and tied them together. And so if I'm having a bad work day, now I'm a bad father, now I'm not a good son, now I'm not a good husband, right? Yeah. And that would carry over into personal, and and it wasn't true. And so separating that is something that you need to do, because what somebody is willing to pay you to render a service has no bearing on who you are as a person, as a husband, as a father, whatever. And so that's something that you need to just understand and hear. Like, I did not even see the difference until my therapist said, this is the difference.
Yeah, and even when you do see it, like, because that's where we have a mindfulness, a mind coach and personal development, where we sort of, frame that. But when you're in that emotion, it's really hard to break through. It doesn't really matter how much you can understand what's going on now, because it's all in education. It's still in those moments of, and especially as we start, look, it really is. Some days you're so pumped that, we are going to crack this, we are going to take over. And the next day you are literally undergoing, what the fuck are we doing? So,
I'm with you 1,000%, man.
Kate's framed it for me as just being hyper-focused. There is no separation, like you sort of said. It's just, this is it, because literally this is it.
Got it.
But that's cool.
One of the things I could tell you is this. There will always be enough. Okay. And you're like me, you're very passionate about what you do. And one of the things that I wrote, if you want this book, go check this book out. It's called E2 by Pam Grout. I'll write it in the notes here. E2.
I got it.
Okay. She talks, the last chapter talks about, and she just makes this reference. The book is all about spirituality and why things happen and 9 ways you can test that there's other energies out there than what you think, right? There's more to life out there than what you think. And she was talking about, when Jesus brought all the fishes and the loaves, right? When he multiplied everything by the thousands. He knew in his mind that, and I'm not religious by any means. Like, I'm Catholic, but I don't go to church every week, right? So just wanted to make that present. I'm not going to hell for that either.
I'm not at all Christian, so I don't plan on going there either.
But what the point was is, if he didn't think that he can do that, it wouldn't have never happened. And if he didn't think that there was always going to be enough, that wouldn't have happened. And we are taught, right, from a very small age that nothing is ever enough. There's not enough clients out there. There's not enough work out there. There's not enough marketing that I'm doing. There's not enough family time. And that's all bullshit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's plenty out there. And I think that's what makes us so goddamn frustrated. And we stress ourselves out because right away, for whatever reason, we throw in our minds, like, if I don't get this done by this date, I'm done. I'm finished. And that's so false. So
it's like that whole, 99% of the problems that you create never actually happen. They're manifestations, and you get so caught up in the emotion of that manifestation that chances are you're going to make it manifest if you keep that energy there.
Right. So I want to get a little specific with this call, because I want to make sure that these calls are very, very helpful to you, and that we focus on, at least we focus on one pain point per call. So if you could right now, present speaking, right, in the now.
Yeah.
What's one of the pain points that you and wifey are going?
Sales. We just need to drive. We've got to convert more people into this world. Like, we've only been going 7 months. We get that that's cool, but it has to grow. And
talk to me about the process.
So we have. I'm not a salesman. Never have been. Never have had to be. So I'm not very good at that side of it whatsoever. We have a new business development team. So we outsource that to another company that we put out there. We pay them, as again, we're only starting, not enough to be fair, but we pay them to go out and do the cold calling and bits and pieces like that. We recently just put them on hold for 2 months, just because we've been going for 7 months. They haven't really converted to the amount that I'd like. And I think some of the problems on the back of that are what we spoke about first. I want to clear this website up. I don't think it's doing a sales driven job, because again, that was never the energy that I foresaw when we first put it together. Case studies, there's not enough work up there. And I still believe, as coming to a creative agency, you want to see that creative output. Now, we've been so busy working for the business, not on the business. And I think my frustrations are, we are having to do a lot ourselves that I don't want to be doing. You know, I'm back on the tools more so than I have been in the last 7 years. You know, that's great. Lucky that I can do that and get in and do the doing, but I'm much better from the strategy and the directing role, right? That's where we are. So we've asked them to press pause so I can use some of that money to get freelancers and people in to go, like, we need that for us, you know, on the business where I can just get things done. So I'm really keen on you helping us get those messages and that hard sell message through the website. Now, whether that's, right, guys, you need to have an emotive video that explains all this lovely stuff that you've got behind doors, but no one's seeing that.
Yeah.
Yes. Be that funneling things through, and I don't mean to say that in a funnels perspective, but how are we leading our customers through everything? And I know a lot of this stuff, so it's not like, but I'm too busy doing other things that I think I need this to be the driving force to go, right, here's what we're doing. I can be held accountable. We know these things pretty well. So there's two aspects to the business, right, that I want to do. I want to drive a consultancy and keep my consultancy up. I did a lot of that through, this was my personal portfolio. So that site's not there to do anything other than when I was freelancing. But I want to turn DuncanSkipper.com into the consultancy side. I want to help people build personal brands and do it. Like, I wear it, I own it, you know, like the badge on the phone. I understand that's what I do. And then there's the agency side. So DS Creative, so that's dscreative.agency. That's the primary focus for us.
DS
Creative.agency.
Oh, whoops.
That's right. That's cool. So this is the agency site. Again, it's only got 3 case studies up at the moment. We've got stacks more ready to go or written, but haven't been designed, haven't been put in. And this is the one. So this is the driving force. This is us. This is the agency, right?
Got it. So right now, load time.
It shouldn't be. That should be flying. Like, literally, if my
it could be my. Don't get me wrong. Could be my Wi-Fi has been super slow. So
no, it's quite funny. So just on the back of that, this is one thing we cleaned up not long ago. So these are built on the same DuncanSkipper.com, and this is built on the same theme, and basically, but we cleaned up the agency to one really fast, and it was quite funny that DuncanSkipper.com just loaded like that. And this one,
this could be my Wi-Fi. I've been having some issues. We had about 2 feet of snow yesterday, so I know that there's power outages and stuff like that. Yeah. So it could very necessarily be that case. But I got to get in here because I want to see what's going on.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. This is where, and this, so for me, the branding of the consultancy, I think that's something that, you know, you have this model. I think you're going to be able to help me immensely when it comes to that. That's secondary to us making the agency work. So this agency has to pull in more. So after our first call, I said that I was going to go away and start to really write a lot more in the background around how our package is going to be structured, how are we going to pull people through, what are those offerings. At the moment, we are a full service agency because I've come from full service. You know, I grew up in above the line advertising. I went to digital, running digital agencies, and then in the last 4 years was a creative director at a content agency. So I understand all points of delivery. So I do want to be full service. You know, if we are working with a client, you know, and you have to do a beautiful bit of video work, you know, I want to be able to do that, even if we outsource to partners. The development side want to be, you know, we want to keep that. But the big one that we've able to capture a lot more of our retained clients, so that the retained business that we have at the moment is all through social media and digital marketing. You know, companies that haven't quite got the capacity, you know, to be doing their newsletters, to be writing their blogs, to be updating their social channels, to be doing the PPC, AdWords campaigns, to be running Facebook ads. And that's where we've picked up an awful lot of retained business.
Okay. So and you're just outsourcing. You're outsourcing that work to.
So the creative I will do in house.
Right.
Kate handles all of the AdWords and the digital marketing side of it. We obviously create the Facebook ads and we do all that sort of stuff all in house as well. the outsourcing at the moment is around development and photography and videography. So we'll outsource. I'll always get freelancers in rather than companies. So we still control it. But
okay. Oh, that's pretty sweet, this thing. Okay. All right. Okay, so work. Let me see. Founders. Yeah, I saw this picture the other day. I loved it. I saw it on your Instagram. It popped in. I absolutely loved it. Okay. All right, so a couple things. One is, I love this. I love the design of the site. I mean, the design of the site is lovely. It's the user experience that I'm questioning, or I should say, I want to bring to light, right? So, when I see here, healthy thinking, value-based, purpose-driven storytelling, uncovering true brand worth. All right, so let's do some comparison, okay?
Yep. So this is what I said last time. So when you recently updated your website, I was like, that's what I need to do. And that was the conversion point for me to contact you and jump in. I'd watched you for a while, and it was the fact that you'd updated that with, and don't get me wrong, there's obviously so many similarities between what we do and, you've got a mindset coach, you've got these other mentors around. I think we're online, but as soon as you updated that website, man, that was when I started converting straight away and went, this is what I need. So I know that this isn't doing a job. I'm totally open to hearing it, but the way you structure around what I do, why I do it, and then how, as a mentality, that just proved to me straight away that you're the one to help me. You get too in your own head. Do you know what I mean?
So I just redid the copy, so I don't have to read. I'm not going to go line by line with you. I just redid the copy last week. So, I mean, when you get a chance, maybe later on this evening, go back to my site and read the copy.
Cool.
It's very direct response. It's very compelling. But let me take you down here, because this is the most important. It's the why we do it. Okay. And what I realized was, and I looked at my client roster and I said, look at all of these folks that you are attracting and working with. They all have businesses that are helping other people. And that is no coincidence.
Yeah.
So I have here, so you probably didn't become an entrepreneur for the money. You wanted to make a difference in other people's lives. I absolutely believe that's why you felt the push to your own business. I believe
everyone has the same purpose at some point. Everyone has that drive inside of them. It's always to help, whether you're a life coach, whether you're this, whether you're that. I think when you boil it down to it, if everyone is purpose driven and you get to a point, it's always that human instinct is to help other people around you.
Right. Now, but honestly, I don't know, Duncan, because I've met a lot of digital marketers that come to me. They want me to build out their sales and marketing funnels. They have no real brand. They have no real purpose. I found ClickFunnels.
If you're purpose driven.
Right, exactly. And
sorry, that was the caveat.
Right. And so I have to push those people away because I'm not connecting with them on that level. And I'm not doing this. Yes, this business needs to be profitable for it to exist. But if I spend a tremendous amount of time with my clients, and if I'm working with somebody that I'm just not feeling, why even do that to yourself? So I told my copywriter, I said, dude, we got to make sure in this section we're abundantly clear on who it is I want to serve and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And he did a hell of a job here, by articulating that. And so, I won't go line by line here, but check out why we do what we do, because that's what's going to grab people. And then obviously this story it's a couple years old. Yeah. It's the reinforcement. And so what I'm seeing here is, so that's what I wanted to show you right away. So I redid this headline: impact, income, integrity. To truly scale your business, you need all three. Here's where you'll find the branding firepower to get you there. So I'm not a copywriter by trade. I'm a designer by trade, but I've studied copy and I've been working with the same copywriter for 5 years now. And I've learned a lot from him. And one of
you grow from just experience, right? It's not through education.
Right. And one of the things that this headline says is, these are the 3 things you need. I know that because I've studied you, and I know who, and I know my audience, and I know what they need. I know what they want. Right. Yep. And here's where you're going to get it. This. Okay. Healthy. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
So, yeah, no, totally. So I'm on board. So where we're focused is purely within health and wellness. So our clients help us fulfill our purpose, if this makes sense. I can't be a functional practitioner. I can't be a nutritionist. I can't be a PE coach or help doing massages. I can't do all those things, but we want to help people live healthier, more balanced lives. So through our clients, we can help spread their authentic message to more people, and therefore they are allowing us to help people live more healthy, balanced lives. So that's our target market is purely health and wellness.
Yep.
So it's that. So we've been tripping up over the last couple of months with the DS Creative, because it was set up as a name for me to freelance and do my consultancy work. Is that the right name for the company? I love the branding. I love it. But potentially, because we are health focused, healthy thinking has become our ethos. Now, if we start pitching and we start getting in front of everyone, man, as soon as I talk around what healthy thinking means to have a healthy attitude, I am standing at a stand-up desks. I have earthing mats. I understand, what it means to have a healthy mindset, to have a healthy body, therefore to have a healthy business, hopefully. And so it's those messages that I'm all in here but aren't coming through yet, because that's taken us the 7 months of planning to get to this point. So I need your help to push on the execution. I think I'm trying to explain, not to say arrogantly, I know all this, but I want it to land in and say, we are the healthy thinking agency. What does that mean to us? It means that, and that's the emotive spiel. That's the emotion which is going to,
and that's exactly what you got to do, Duncan.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we're articulating this, because that how you just said it, is how it needs to be on your site.
Exactly. Yeah. Cool.
So when I get to know who you are and why you're doing it, and you are a practitioner, the stand-up desks and the mats and all of that good stuff, like that tells me that you're not just lip service.
And that's
live this life, and that's where we need to go. So recommendations, definitely start with some sort of, 7 to 10 minute video.
Yep.
That's very emotionally based, that tells your story.
Yep. Because see, all we're going to do is you're going to cover, particularly as we start this journey. And again, it's not to be sure, I'm just going to type on this other screen. The light's a bit shit, hence I'm not looking down that one. It's more for you to say, right, this is what we need to do. This, I'm understanding it. Now let's go and attack it. And then you're giving me the push. And then as we grow on this journey, you'll start to learn a bit more and then be able to help with the major triggers. Mm-hmm. So just around company and branding name. Now I know you've got a toolkit around helping names and stuff like that. And this is something we get, again, going back to that same thing about trapped in our head. I was even going to call ourselves the Healthy Thinking Agency. Now, I know that's not as cool as necessarily some agency names. It's probably not as corporate as DS Creative is, but it just says it on the tin. Or are we better to just stick with the branding that I love, because I want DS Creative to be, as I build myself, having a personal brand. It's kind of nice to say that I'm actually living and breathing that by naming, everything about me is, like I said, I wear the clothing, I've got it everywhere. I'm trying to build that on the side. Mm-hmm. Do we stick with what we've got and we know that home, like the homepage, for example, doesn't do anything. It's a driving page to help send people to different places. There's no communication. Mm-hmm. Are we better off owning the communication around what healthy thinking means in an ethos and why that's our tagline? Like, we are the Healthy Thinking Agency, and not necessarily rebranding and naming ourselves.
I like this. I like Healthy Thinking by DS Creative.
Yeah. Yeah, because I want to be known as an agency that owns health and wellness. Now, there's nothing worse than picking up the phone saying, "Hey, we're DS Creative. We happen to specialize in," and then the lights go on. I'm just trying to think if I could shortcut that. Now, as I said, we did this website before we even started, so we're only now learning who we are and what we want to stand for, which is now's the pivotal time to write, how do we get those messages out in front of people? I said, you're going to be the leverage to push, right, Duncan, I expect you to be doing this. And I go, right, fuck, I've got to do it as such.
Yep. So fitness brands, so fitness brands you definitely want to connect with. Personal fitness brands. I happen to be, I don't know why they are attracted to me. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But I work with a lot of fitness personal brands. I'm working with 3 right now at the moment. They're personal brands, and they're in the fitness space, and they need a cleaner, and you see this all the time. They just need a cleaner brand identity. They just need to clear up their messaging, and they're going to be $1 million business plus, right? And so those are the connections that I see you having to make, and you could do that on Instagram. There are tons of influencers out there that you'll just have to pay some cash to, and they'll get you out in front of their audience, right? And I don't know what you could do as a barter, or you just pay, I don't know, but it's very underpriced right now. As far as that.
Yep. Can I give you a rundown of what the strategy for the business is? As I've sort of said, we know that you're going to be able to critique us and look at that homepage. I know there's not enough case studies up. I want to do the digital marketing because I think that's what's pulling people in from a really easy way for a business to spend, say, $2,000 to $3,000 a month, which isn't much to have a massive headache done. So I think we'll get into that. But from a strategic point of view, healthy thinking, we want to help people tell their stories, right? So for me, healthy thinking is to make a brand that's to help give a voice to our clients. Now, no one's going to come and read a blog at dscreative.agency around why yoga is really good. So we've purchased healthythinking.com. So I want to create a content site dedicated to having a Healthy Thinkers series where every month I'm interviewing someone who's got a healthy product or a healthy service that we deem to be really, a good, healthy thing. Healthy thinking series, healthy ideas. So what do I mean by a healthy idea? How does that help you in business to grow? So there's always that branded message on the back of it. And that's how we start to build a community around that ethos, and not so much the DS Creative will also be just a servicing on the back of it.
Yep.
So I want to own, this is where I was worried about changing the name of the agency to be the Healthy Thinking Agency as opposed to just DS Creative. We are a healthy, whatever it might be.
Right.
Is you've got to walk the walk. You've got to understand that, so when my wife goes into a meeting and our clients talk about the products or the ingredients within what makes a great product, she can hold a conversation on a scientific level that just makes them go, fuck, these guys get it. I was an instant sportsman. I grew up within high performance of sport. So from a education around that side, I get it. But no one's going to come to a branding agency to learn about healthy thinking, why yoga is right for you, why doing a mindfulness practice in your day. So we want to show that we're part of that community by creating a community and all the content and producing it. So healthythinking.com, we want to put into production. That's probably going to be a 6-month behind the scenes grind to get that site up and to get launch content.
Okay. I have some other suggestions potentially for you. It sounds like there's a struggle to getting that voice and message out. Like what platforms, what channels do you use to get that message out? Am I hearing you correctly?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. So we just want to own that. I think that's our differentiator. I don't want to be an agency that just does everything, we want to be full service, but I don't want to.
I get that. So what's coming to mind is when you say building community, right? Because that is truly where it's at. And that's where the Brand Doctor podcast is born.
Okay. So what's the output of it? Ideally, I think I'm probably more comfortable behind a camera. So I guess it's probably a little bit more costly than doing audio, but I'd love to be able to go out and interview people and talk about why this is really important and do it as a vlog. And then we have people approaching us already because Instagram, we've only been going long, but we've built 8,500 people followers on that. I've got about 6.5. We know it's only early days, but we've only just started and it's already getting traction. So we've already got people coming to us saying, I love that. I'm a designer. I love what you're doing within the health space. I love that you're standing for something. Can I come and do this? Or people writing saying, hey, do you ever need a writer? So again, I would be off going out to brands and sort of saying, hey, would you be interested? Let's say you're a yoga instructor in London at one of the top gyms, and you wanted, I can give you a platform to be able to write for me. People would write on behalf of us. So the writing content done, we don't have to generate that ourselves. We reach to people and say, would you be interested in writing on this? We've got a community of 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers, whenever that goes. So the content generation from the day-to-day stuff will be done for us. We'll have monthly outreaches where I find who I consider a healthy thinker, someone doing something really well, and do video interviewing and stuff on that. Mm-hmm. That's not going to help the agency in the interim, but I believe that if I can be 5 years down the track and I've got a content hub that's all about everything that we stand for as an agency, and I'm in a pitch with someone and I can say, look, I can get you in front in this, you want to launch this product, let's say it's a new skincare product. I will happily talk about that, and we'll do a video. We'll do that within my community. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, a long-term win.
That's what we need to start focusing in on, is building the messaging out. And so that's why I'm just throwing this out there, but focusing on building a YouTube channel, focus on building a possible podcast. So I do things very multifaceted. I do my podcast and I record it just like this, right? Yep. Whether I'm by myself or I have a guest. Then I have my video team produce it. That goes on my YouTube channel. And then my podcast team takes the audio and produces the podcast. So now it's multi-channeled.
Yep.
Okay. And all I'm doing is focusing on building that message.
Fuck, I'm so hungry for this. The pain point for us then is going to be time. Now, I know that's probably going to be the flip side, but I'm so early in this business that the equity behind it, we've taken 7 months off to get this started. We haven't taken anything home in the last 7 months, really, other than, taking the minimum. So we need the business to grow first. I need to get I need DS Creative to start converting. So that would be the primary focus. So I've written down my sort of touch points. It's build DS Creative up so that I can free up myself time, so I'm not doing all the design and doing that, so I can get off the back and build this consultancy offering and healthy thinking on the back of it, which is all like, how do you do it from, I read your emails, I can handle doing Instagram and building that sort of stuff up. I'll get into doing more video stuff on that. That's sort of very easy, but I guess this time I need to get the business building up and get people coming through, get a bit more retained clients, so I've got the money and the freedom to get that out there. Then I talk about messages. I've got that stuff bursting, man. I don't just it's there. So
here's another thing that's, when you're talking, I'm thinking, how do I help you? How do I help you? Here's what's coming to mind, and let me just spit it out. And I'll tell you exactly how I did it. First hire I ever made was a project manager, a virtual assistant. Okay. Yep. That virtual assistant was able to hire me out my designers, my dev team.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she manages them. I don't.
Okay.
Cool. So she's like my general. I should say I'm the general and she's sort of like my lieutenant, if you will. And she handles them. Now I like the connection with all my team members. So every 2 weeks we have a powwow meeting and we all come on a call like this. Okay. That's going to help. So building your infrastructure first, replacing you from
that's the pain point. And it's time, and it's because I am diving in. I am doing the design. Well, I've got a team as well, but there's so much going through at the moment that margins probably aren't high enough. So we've got that point of, as we're a small agency, we seem to be attracting small budgets and small clients. We're doing loads of stuff, which is great. We're at six figures, already, which is cool, but we're not taking that home. So right. I am slogging it.
So I just want you to beware and be conscious of trying to be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
All right. I can do, I have the resources to do Facebook ads and Google ads and all of that stuff. I choose not to do it because it's going to take away time that I need to help the client build the brand. Okay. And it's a lot of headache. So what I decided to do was really get clear on what it is that I want to do. And that's brand development. So it's diagnosis, strategy, and then build. And I do all the strategy, right? I do all the strategy with the client. And then phase 2 is design. That's where my team takes over. And once the team gets done with the task, I present it. Nobody else presents it.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right. And then it's done. And then it's development time and it's done. But if I had all this other nonsense going on in the background, like Google ads and having to maintain several accounts and all of that, what I'm hearing and seeing potentially is that you're spreading yourself too thin and it's not allowing you to scale or even build a solid infrastructure to get to the next level.
Yeah. You are dead right, and I'm probably going off because I talk at 1,000,000 miles an hour as well. So trying to brain dump everything in our first call, but
it's okay.
We have teams. Like I've got 2 people working for us, our social media managers. Like we don't do the posting. Like fuck that.
Right.
Like I have designers come in, but I still pick up a lot of that work at the moment because I guess we don't have enough work coming through for me to step off completely.
Okay.
We are surviving, like we're only just starting, so it's a great, like you sort of said, like I'm not trying to put too much on us, but I need to get more through the door. We need to sell more. We need more clients so that I can step back and do that. At the moment, maybe it's the wrong strategy, and I need to spend more to make more. You know what I mean?
Well, here's a couple of things, and I read people pretty well. It's one of my gifts.
Yeah.
And what I'm feeling. And this may be coming across in your sales so you said you discontinued that company, right? So now when you get inquiries, are you managing the calls?
Sorry, say that again.
Okay, so that company that you hired to kind of help you convert and
yes,
put them on.
We only did that last week. So they've just only literally handed over 2 days ago to Kate the a list of where we are, what is sort of where our warm leads and stuff like that are. So she's picking up on that who's like
interacting.
Kate will be picking that up at the moment. Or to be fair, if it's a call, both of us will probably jump on that. I think I look all horrible and I haven't had a shave for a while, but I've been no meetings and stuff like that. But when we are in front of people, we're very sellable and that passion comes across. So we're converting when we get that chance to get in front of people. Okay. We're just not bringing enough people through to us. So obviously the website's not grabbing enough people. We're reliant on that team because we haven't done any sales stuff ourselves up until now. Now I need to take that budget off them at the moment because I feel like they're not converting because the website's not doing good enough job. There's not enough work up on it to showcase what we've actually done. So I feel like we need to just put our head down for 2 months, populate it, get these sort of things from that information from you in place. And then we can turn that tap back on because at the moment we've just been sort of shelling out and they're not converting. So I'd rather turn that money to help us.
Is there any front end offer that you provide or you offer to? That's another thing that we didn't talk about. Is there a front end offer that will compel people to come into your world?
As far as, give me an example, like if you want like an introductory package, like a brand audit or something?
Yeah, exactly. So I have my introductory consult. I'm $500 an hour, right?
Yeah.
But my introductory consult's $100, right?
Yeah.
So that's my offer. I have my brand audit that for a limited time, I have it at $100 right now, but it's typically $500 right now. Then I have 8 toolkits. I'm not making $1 million off of those toolkits.
Yeah.
But it's getting them on my email list. And if I can get them on my email
straight away, no. So we do services, right? So if a project comes in, if it's a website, so we've got a mindfulness coach who's got a really successful business here, one-to-one model. She's not got enough hours in the day, makes a killing, but she's limited by the amount of clients she can see. So she came to us from a strategic point of view where we've flipped that, doing a whole lot of online courses, getting her in studios and recording it so she can productize that knowledge. Like I live and breathe this stuff. I'm just not executing it myself because I'm too busy doing it for other people. So I need this to be the force and the push to do everything. All the strategies that I'm doing for my other clients, mate, I'm not doing it for myself. So again, I'm not saying that in an arrogant way that I don't know this stuff, no, sorry, that's not right. I'm not saying it arrogantly, saying I know it all, but what I'm directing my clients to do, we're not doing ourselves. We're too busy.
And listen,
small.
I raised my hand. My mindset guy said to me on Monday, he said, everything that you've been doing for your clients and and building them up and doing all of that, you need to start doing it for yourself. And I made a very clear decision on Monday to make that happen. And so I'm happy to help you do this.
Yep.
So looking at
programs stuff. So I've written 3 programs so far. There's 4, so there's but 3 I think I'd always launch with is defining a healthy brand. So I have a fundamental program that I take people through first. This isn't advertised, so this is my process. So where you're advertising those process points, I've got them, I'm just not advertising. So the first one is defining a healthy brand, where we go through and define exactly what that brand is to stand for. What I call true worth is not what you do or how you do it, not even why you do it, the value that it brings to your consumer, because that's where their main emotion is. So defining a healthy brand is a foundation program that goes through to build those foundations, essentially kind of aimed at startups to really help them articulate, what their brand is going to not look like and do, because that shit's sort of sentimental, or what they stand for and what the benefit is. Then nurturing brand growth is the next label, which is sort of tailored towards more production and creating an audience. That's the content strategies, that's the content production, how you nurture your messages and share that value. And then what we have done as far as workshops and stuff is called the Power to Believe, which is, brand, emotion, leverage, inspiration, education, value, and to evolve. And so I've broken that down into a 2-day workshop. We've only run 1. None of this is advertised. This is all stuff that we've done with the small group that we've met face to face, so we can test these things. We can start to figure out what messages we should stand for. So we're only just here, like we're so low, but we're trying to set all these things up. It's just nothing is public facing yet. So we can't do everything at once. Nope. So I need to know what the pushes are first. First of all, website, or if you're saying we can talk that emotive, put a video up on that homepage rather than making someone use it. Let's do a video. Let's get the homepage done, get the case studies up or whatever they might be. Or if they're the packages that we have set aside, the 1,200, the 2.6, the 3.2 a month, entry-level packages, which is that first public-facing buy into these. What are the funnels? How do we set that sort of user journey up so that they can actually click through and pay? None of that exists.
Okay, so let me take the last 15 minutes and sort of strategize with you and kind of put this on paper and hold you accountable to this. First and foremost, what you want to do is you get that video produced. Okay.
Yep.
Nobody's buying those packages if they don't know you and Kate first. Okay.
100%.
That's my logic. So get that done. Okay. Yep. Then what's the next thing we have to do? We need to start making money, right? So the second thing we do is take one of those 3 packages, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's the one that you sold most of. I don't know if you sold any, but
no, we have to definitely. That's how we've got a lot of our retained business that we know that's just there monthly. So we've sold those by meeting people and talking them in, not selling them by promoting them to the outside world.
Okay, so take the one that you sold the most of, and we got to put that on the website and make a very easy user experience on here's the sales page, here's the order form page, here's the confirmation page, and here's access to the program.
Yep.
That's number 2. Okay. Once we get that done, then step number 3 is to put product number 2 on the market, whatever that product is.
Yep. Okay.
Finish that and then do product number 3.
So let's put this all down to, let's say these 3 products are all within content marketing. So we have different entry points, right? So people that might spend $1,200, which you'll get 1 newsletter, we'll take over, we'll do say 16 posts. So there's always a strategy first. So people come into our funnel, there's always a strategy. Now, if they have on a month-to-month basis can spend 1,600, they can spend 2,600, or there's 3,200. Okay, so they'll always do an upfront strategy. We'll set the content pillars and we'll set exactly what we're going to talk about, what the monthly themes are going to be, provide a content calendar. That's the roadmap. Then the execution is what the month-to-month stuff is that we're actually getting retained clients in. So there are already 3. It's like if someone buys the £2,000 one, the only difference is the amount of output within those. So to me, it's one thing. There's just 3 different entry points.
Oh, okay.
If that makes it, just to simplify that.
That makes sense. So what we need to do is that needs to be on the market as soon as possible.
Yeah. Cool.
And how you sell it, I don't know if you're going to use, I don't know if you want to get technical or not, but if you use WooCommerce, use WooCommerce. If you use ClickFunnels, use ClickFunnels. I'm heavily integrated my business into ClickFunnels. I like it, right? So, but I don't use it as a professional marketer. I use it as a agility position. So if I want to create a new product or create a new offer, I could go in ClickFunnels, create a sales page in 13 seconds, throw a price tag on it, and then send it out to my list, and boom. All right. So I use ClickFunnels from a agility standpoint and from a revenue generating standpoint, where a lot of the market is using it to just create one funnel after the next. And like, that's not my, I'm not a professional marketer. I don't want to be a professional marketer. I want to be a brand expert.
Same boat.
Right. So those are the 3 things that I would do: 1, 2, and 3. And I like the live workshop. Now, my question to you is, I'm thinking, how do I help you generate more revenue? Have you considered that discovery session or that diagnosis phase to be a separate investment?
You're saying the right things here, bro. That's getting them in at a small price point to go through, understand our ideology and methodology. And
I want to stop you there, because it should not be a small price point. It should, because here's what happens.
Yeah.
The other stuff is commodity. Your thinking and strategy is not.
Yeah. Yep.
Understood? So that should be top dollar. I charge anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000 for my strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. And because that's what they want. I've had people say to me, I don't give a shit about your design. I want you. What does that cost?
Yeah.
And that's when I name my price, right? Well, what is it worth to you? Right. Right. Yeah. So that's what, so I want you to read this book immediately. It's a quick read. If you haven't already, that and Win Without Pitching Manifesto by Blair Enns, E-N-N-S.
Yep.
Okay. Read that book. I know you, and I know your energy. You'll probably read it in one sitting. But when I tell you, it'll completely change the way you're thinking. So here's a model that I just want you to hear out is when you bring them in as a like a low-hanging fruit offer, a $97 consult call or something like that, right? That'll pay for your advertising, if you will, right? You get them on the call, you figure out what their pain points are. So I do this with a questionnaire. So before I even get on the phone with them, I know exactly what's going on. Very similar. You went through the process, son. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So then when I get on the call with them, I understand where they're coming from. And then I tell them, I don't do any design work. I don't do any of that until we do a thorough diagnosis. And thorough diagnosis is $3,500. If you want some design direction after that, it's an extra $1,500. And again, it's design direction. So we're doing stylescapes and give them a point of direction on their brand. That's it, right? That's worth a mint, right? So now, mind you, what you want to do is you want to raise these prices because you don't want to work with a gazillion people. You just don't.
Yeah. And that, like I said at the start, that's what we happen to be attracting because it's the standard argument, right? It's the fucking cliche. It really fucking is. And I think, you know, that's where the pain points are at the moment, because we know we don't want to be here. You know, this isn't the way forward. So yeah.
Right. So what we want to do is we want to raise our prices. We want to understand that our thinking is the most valuable asset that we can sell. Yep. And you have a tremendous knowledge in this field, and that is not cheap. And so,
no, and it's again, without sounding too much like I know I'm quite good at what we do as well. I've never been in a position myself. I've always led teams. I've always been the leader within an agency. I've never been the front of it myself. So we are not in panic stages by any means, but we are going through the emotion of, fuck, it's hard, and we're moving and we're not getting enough work, you know, because you feel dragged down when you're putting 7 days in a week. And just, I mean, don't get me wrong, we can keep going at this, but this isn't the way to build.
It's not sustainable. So let me share with you with this, and this is going to be a good positive ending. I like to end all my calls. One of the things that I want you and Kate to understand and make sure that she sees this part of the video today. You don't need the business. You listen, just hear me out. It sounds so crazy and so counterintuitive, but Blair talks about in that book, you want to try to kill the engagement like 3 times when you're on these calls. Really, it's called the follow and retreat.
Yeah. What's
going on right now, and this is going into a little bit of a mindset thing, is you say you're not in a panic mode, but deep down you are. You feel like if I don't close the next deal, I'm not gonna be able to turn the lights on next month. Like, all these thoughts are going in your head, and what's happening is it's being perceived by your audience as needy, and nobody buys needy.
No.
So what we need to understand is you and Kate are going to be fine. This business is going to grow steadily. You have a beautiful life. You have a beautiful business. You will help thousands of people through content, but you will only work with select individuals. You will be selective. You will not be selected. And this mindset must be, that's why I recommended the book, The Manifesto, because I read that 4 times in 2 weeks because I needed to hear that. I needed it to be literally ingrained because I was going through the same problem.
Bro, I literally, your email about writing something down and waiting for something to come to you, I literally did that after your email because and it's the same sort of thing. My mindset coach had just said something. We get these positive Wednesday sort of messages. You reinforced it something later, and I was like, fuck it. And I wrote down a lovely little note that goes in my laptop pocket that I kept around. So I was like,
I'm telling you, and be specific with it. Like, the one thing I messed up with was I asked
to see it, not to convert it. Yeah.
Right. So give it to me, right? So just ask for it. So what I want you to take away from this meeting, and we'll schedule the next one. I don't have anything behind you, so I'll go straight to the end of the hour. What I want you to do is really understand that if one prospect doesn't buy, there's 4 more behind him that will, or her that will. And so I want to kind of get you out of this scarcity mindset. Like if we don't do this, the result is going to be a disaster. And you got to come from a position that I need to live. I need to remember to have fun with this. I need to know that everything is going to be awesome. And my mindset guy tells me, here's a mantra that I want you to remember forever. Nothing matters and everything's amazing. And believe it or not, it's so true. When you look at the big picture, nothing really matters and everything is amazing. I have a beautiful 6-month-old son. I have a beautiful home. I have a beautiful life. And he said, you need to start having fun again. You are so worried about the victory that it's actually coming across as needy and desperate. And so I was on a few calls this week, and I had to push them away because I knew that they probably weren't going to be a good fit. And again, and I said, listen, maybe I do need the business. Maybe I do need the business. But then I said, that's not the way you're going to grow this year. It's understanding that everything's going to be okay and you don't need the business. You really don't. And the minute you understand that, it will come in abundance. And that word is so cliche in this world. But so listen, man, I wake up every day. I come in, I do my thing. I love what I do. I work with you guys all day long. It's a beautiful thing. And it's funny, something just hits and 5 or 6 inquiries will come in at once. And
I think that's what we're looking for. I think, both leaving 6-figure incomes to go and grind it ourselves. It's been 7 months. We've only just figured out what we want to stand for. So that hyper focus, that hyper attention is there. I think we just want it to start converting for us. Now we know it's not going to until we, need the help to go, right, mate, because you get too trapped in your own head. So I think, looking forward to slowly chipping it away.
Did you ever hear this cliche? If you want more control, give it away.
Give it away. Yeah. Yep. You've got to do less to be able to do more, sort of, or, yeah.
And it's just you having to tell yourself that. And do you use the 5-minute journal?
No, but my wife's into journaling a lot. She does a lot of journaling. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I do the 5-minute journal now. I've been doing it for like 4 years. I used to buy the book for fucking $40 a pop. Now I got the online app. It's the same exact thing. Dude, that sets my day on course every single day. And when I forget to write in it, that's when my day feels off kilter. So the 5-minute journal is something that I would totally invest in. It's $4.99 on the App Store.
Yeah.
And listen, man, it's going to set your mind right out of the gate. But some of this stuff that I talked to you about today is a lot of in here. And when you let all of that go, everything gets more clear. Everything gets more easy. So just bulk it out. So recap. We're going to do that video first. Your why means more than anything right now, and what you stand for. And I'm so happy that you found your message and your mission. Okay. Yeah. That has to come out in the video. Once we get that up on the website, then we work on revenue generating material, which is the course. And then what is your funnel to get somebody in the front door? And that's what we can talk about maybe in deeper content, concept on the next call. So we want something that's solid, right? That's solid.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I always knew this first call was just going to be me brain dumping at a shitload miles an hour as well, just
we got a lot done though.
Get it up. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it's always having homework, right? So I like just to be able to go away and go, right, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. All right. So let me look at my calendar. I'm going to get you booked. I want to get you booked out 2 weeks from now. Yep. So the 22nd.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, good. I got my biz dev guy. So I hired a guy who's about 15 chapters ahead of me.
Yeah. Well, this is the whole point, right, man? It's
that's the same thing.
All back to mindset. It's all back to being pushed and.
Yeah. So when we did the call, 11. So do you want to do 11 a.m. on the 22nd?
Yes. Okay. Yep.
All right. So
is that what time it was for you?
Yeah. 11 a.m.
So
Eastern.
Same time. Okay. Perfect.
All right. Duncan, Henry, strategy. I'm going to send you I'm going to make it a Zoom meeting. I'm going to add a guest, Duncan. All right. I just sent you an invite. So we're good for the 22nd.
Cool.
Was this helpful?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I always knew I was going to brain dump first, and then now we can get a little bit more focused as it goes through. I think there's so many sort of pain points and so much going through my head that I wanted to be humble and just brain dump a little bit. So I always knew I was going to do that. So sorry for the fucking receiving that.
No. Listen, I love it. I think what I want to do next time is if you come with 3 questions.
Yep.
3 definitive questions.
Yep.
that will definitely streamline the call.
Do you want those before the call or just to come and answer them on the fly?
You can send them to me in advance. I don't care.
Gotcha.
And then what I also want to I want to share with you is, I don't know if I introduced Voxer to you on our first call. Did I?
The app?
Yeah.
You mentioned it. You didn't. I think you sort of said like you could explain it like a microphone that someone could talk to you whenever they need it.
It's a walkie-talkie app. Yeah. So if you want anything in between now and the 22nd, if you want to just Vox me, okay, it's the Voxer app. Let me give you the my handle. It's H as in Henry, Kami, K-A-M as in Mary, I as in Igloo, 9380.
HCAMI 9380.
No, it's HKAMI, HKAMI.
K-A-M-I. Gotcha, sorry.
9380. You could just download the app, invite me or whatever, connect with me via the thing, and then shoot me a quick, hey, what's going on? This is, now I got you on Voxer. And then anything in between now and the 22nd that comes out, I usually respond within 24 hours or less.
Cool. What about just email? So the only one question I want you to just sort of think about the next time is around the naming convention. So if I just take that little pressure point that we sort of talked about today, can I just put an email together and just sort of say, hey, this is the one thing I just want to get you to have resonating before the next call?
Yes.
To think about, because it's
more than happy.
Brain's up about it, then I can just articulate exactly what I'm trying to struggle with, and then you go, right, we've got to clear something to come from the other end as well.
Do that.
Cool. Okay, great.
That's fine with me. That's fine with me.
Cool.
All right, dude. Listen, man, keep rocking. Everything's going to be cool, man. You do great work. I love you.
We're really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. It's just the early,
I'll leave you with this. I'll leave you with this. Make sure you're having fun.
Yeah, bro. I like that. Yep. I got to tell the missus we're about to go have some fun. Thank you very much. And I look forward to the next one, man.
Take care, brother. Bye-bye.